I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Heavy Muscle Radio. Of course, I'm Dave Palumbo, joined as always by the technician, Chris Aceto, and our special guest all the way from Amsterdam, CHRIS CORMIER, the real deal. What's up, man?
How you doing, man? Thanks for having me, Dave.
Well, first of all, what are you doing in Amsterdam? I meant to ask you. You were just at the Olympia, like last weekend.
I had this plan that I was going to come out here after Breon got done with his the Olympia. I was gonna go. I thought he was gonna do another show, but so I was holding off on if I was coming here or not. But he shut it
Why
down.
didn't he do the Romania show?
Dude, that's what I was. I texted him today, and I was like, dude, like this was easy money for you. Like what? Like what are you doing, man?
Easy money.
Easy.
And Chris was already out there. Chris would have taken.
Chris, that was Breon's.
That was.
I think that was Breon's absolute best.
Yeah. He
was peaked perfectly. He was full. He was peeled out of his mind.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
And I don't think he could have placed higher than he placed at the Olympia without a shadow of a doubt.
I think he should have. I knew what was going to happen, and I told some other guys, I was like, I said, I mean, I love Urs as a person, as a bodybuilder, all that stuff. But I just thought he was a little watery and a little off for his his physique and what he brings to the table. And I said, watch, he's going to dry out the next week and look a lot better. But I just thought that he just wasn't ready. And I thought with the extra weight, because every time we would get ready for the show, Breon would be at this weight, 190 something, 192.
Right.
187 or something, but he still has to get down to 180, and that was always killing his chest, always killing his back double, always killing most of his body, eating up that little muscle, and it was never able to gain that weight back in time to fill out enough. Could only give you like a day or so to fill out.
Right. So you were happy with the way he looked?
Yeah, I was happy with it. I just wanted to get the fair shake. I mean, this is a person's legacy, and I just think you deserve a place, and why not give it to him?
Yeah. What did you think, Chris Aceto?
That's why I started out with the show. I was so impressed with Breon. I'm always impressed with Breon.
Was he good enough to beat Urs though? I don't.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Yeah.
I agree 100% with you.
How could you say on one hand it's the best he's been, or his best he's been in a long time, but an Urs can be watery and still beat him? Like that don't make any sense.
I didn't think Urs was that watery.
They don't have the back development yet, and it's like not only that, to have the water there, it's a good side chest, great abs, but he was showing that he was a lot better conditioned when he was doing his American tour. He looked better than that.
I think Urs just has like more wow. That's how I see it. To me, when I look at, matter of fact, I really thought that Urs matched up well with Bumstead and with Ramon, because he's tall and he's got a very similar structure to those guys. And for some reason, when you look at those three guys, you forget about the other guys on stage, and you got the other guys are really good. You got Breon and Rough Diesel. I mean, those guys are awesome. It's just a height thing and structure thing that I think.
But it can't just be height then, because he would have never been the classic champion ever. It can't just be height. You can't make it height. You can't make
I think the big guys look better.
You can't make the open short. You can't make the open tall. It is what it is. That's how And then
I almost think, and I hate to say this because I don't want these shows taking any longer. I really believe, with regard to classic, it should be classic. Like when Arnold competed, there should be a tall class and a short class, and you should have an overall.
if they want to put an emphasis on the height, then yeah.
But that's what it was back then. That's classic. I mean, classic is height. There is a big difference in height, and it's hard to match a short guy up with a tall guy. You know,
it started out with the shorter guys were winning. They were more complete. Then the guys started getting a little bit taller, a little bit older, and a little bit bigger with the height and the length. But
I saw Bumstead win the North American and get his pro card, and I heard that he was in because I didn't realize how tall he was. And they're like, oh, he could do classic. I'm like, he can? How much muscle does he have to lose? They're like, oh, he can still gain 15 pounds. I'm like, this guy's going to be devastating in this class. I said, because it seems like the bigger guys can weigh a lot more. And I know it's proportional, but
and Dave, where did these numbers come from? That's what I want to know.
Because if you get a guy who's 6 foot,
who's to say that number is supposed to be right?
I'm just saying though, Chris, if you see a guy at 6'2", 260 in class, how do you beat a guy like that when you're 176 pounds?
I know. That's what I was saying.
That's why you got to have height classes. You know,
like, this is not right.
No, there's something not right. I know it's proportion, but it just, the bigger you get, the crazier the person could look. I mean, you're getting guys who are like Olympia open guys, on stage.
Yeah, just like when Sean Ray he started out fast because he was a lot shorter in stature.
Right.
And then when it came to, me, I was a little bit, younger. So then when I started gaining more weight towards the end of my career, then I was able to surpass him. Right. But before that, it'd probably be developed a lot quicker than I would.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what do you think, Chris Aceto?
In regards to,
should there be a height class in classic?
I think I still enjoy it wide open because
because you help the tall guys.
no, because I've gone on record. If you've listened to this show, I've gone on record in saying not this year, but like the first Olympia that Ramon did 3 Olympias ago, I thought Ramon would dust Rough Diesel.
Mm-hmm.
And they put him next, and they kept on moving those two closer. And when they put Rough Diesel right next to Ramon, it was like a giant next to a short guy, and I was like, I get Rough Diesel.
How did
you know what I mean? So I'm looking at.
Yeah, but that's because Ramon was very young too when he was still immature, I think, muscle wise.
Well, I called Cormier, and Cormier sent me those 90s supplements.
How much did Ramon weigh?
On stage, 108 kilos. What's that?
Shit.
I could do the math. Hold on.
You're in Amsterdam. They use kilograms over there, bro.
Right.
108.
They sell weed. Don't they sell weed in kilograms?
In grams. Yeah.
Grams.
Well, you buy a kilogram, that's a lot of weed. 237.
237.
Damn.
235, 237, somewhere.
That was the hardest he's been on that stage. I thought that was the best he ever looked.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best he looked.
Well, he was able to come in 7 pounds bigger this year because supposedly fixed the weight classes.
I was thinking he was gonna be like trying to be so much bigger, and that I thought that might weigh in a little bit negative for him, but it was actually perfect for him.
That's the most he could weigh, though, Chris, right?
Yeah.
They're saying that was the perfect look for him. That was his back double bicep improved a lot. His abs.
Right.
I was even showing him a little bit of stuff when we did that training thing with him in Bumstead.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, I remember that.
I forgot about that.
I contributed a little bit to him on that.
The front double.
Yeah, I'm just telling him different stuff that he can do to improve his physique.
Chris, I always tell people that you're very laid back. You're not like there's coaches out there like that seek other people that are like sending text messages like they're like texting a girlfriend or something like that. Right. You're kind of laid back, but I tell people all the time, like, if you want to learn how to pose and really execute and understand the science of posing and how to break a pose down, I said, you got to contact Chris Cormier. I said, no one's better than him.
and how to improve the posing by the training techniques to improve that area in which you need to improve.
But you know what? You actually explain it like in science. It's funny because I would think that you're more instinctual, but you really break it down scientifically, like why you have the guy turned a certain way.
Right.
I find that, to me, I like that because I'm a like, why are you doing this type of thing guy? And so when I watch you work your magic, you know, I kind of really respect it because you've good.
Been there a couple times, right?
Yeah. No, you helped Juan Morel. I brought him to you, and
but I help a lot of people. That it's not like I'm on their team, but I just like, you know, I tell people different things that I think is helpful. And
because you just like to see people do things the right way. That's why.
Right, exactly.
So what's going on?
A couple of times I did that with Dexter and Jay.
Oh, did you really? I didn't even know you helped.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You know, because you know what? As good as you are, if you have a guy who's like it's like getting a master. It's like a person who's a painter, and you know, you think you're a good painter, you're learning, and then someone comes to you and says, you know, I think if you made your noses a little like this and that, and you put a little shading here, and you're like, wow, I didn't even see that. You know, because you just have a lot of experience doing this for so many years, and so you can step back and be unemotionally involved. You know, you can unemotionally give them advice, and you know, not everyone agrees with it, but I don't think I've ever seen you say something that wasn't accurate. You know,
right.
Well, let me ask you this question: you're in Amsterdam, all right? Now, I went to Amsterdam once, and there's a lot of like you know, it's drugs and there's you know, free prostitution, legal prostitution. What do you do when you go to Amsterdam these days? Because I know you're not a partier like you were back.
Everything is still going on in Amsterdam. I even had a few old friends that contacted me and said, I'll see you in Amsterdam. Are you coming out? Let's go hang out. I was like, no, man, I got to work, bro. I'm like a couple hours actually away from the main city part.
But what are you doing there is what my point is. I know you're not there partying.
Yeah, I'm helping Neckzilla.
So you went there just for Neckzilla?
Yeah.
That's Rubiel Mosquera, right?
So we have a common ground with the supplement company, Labs.
I was wondering how you got out, what you were doing there, because I didn't realize he lived in Amsterdam, to be honest.
No, he's from Colombia, but he has a connection through the company to be based out here because they had everything he needed, and it was easy to have him here and prepare. You know.
Oh, well, you can probably.
He was in Spain before, by close to where Dorian lives, but then he was. Then you know the company's been just helping him do what he got to do to be the best he can be, and now that he's going for the NPC now, and he left that other federation,
right?
Now he can spread his wings and see how good he can be.
He's a freak, you know. He's like legitimately like a Victor Richards freak, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for sure. You know those people, they have that freakish gene.
Yeah, no myostatin. That's what it is.
He definitely is 100% because he showed me some photos when he was 16 and 17 years old.
Right.
Before he even touched the weight at all, and he looked like a bodybuilder.
Oh, he already had a lot of muscle?
Yeah, he looked like a young body. He had the arms and the shoulders. The chest was a little bit mediocre, but he didn't really know how to train either. And at that time, he didn't even touch a weight yet. And and those calves are real. Those quads are real.
He's got huge quads too.
Not jimmied up. Put it that way. And those calves got straight. Even in the off season, before he started dieting, we did some training when I went to the FIBO. That's when we first got in contact with each other there.
Right.
And then he had striations in his calves when he was walking, even in the off season.
The quads are freakish though too.
Straight beef, man. It's crazy.
Do you think how far can this guy go? You think, Chris?
Dude, he just is basically. When was the FIBO?
Was that isn't it usually in April and May or something like that?
Yeah, so that's when he first the way he was moving the weight, Dave. It was like a person that just needs help, and I'm telling you, he was not feeling anything. He was just moving the weight around.
Right.
And I touched on it a little bit with him there, And then we did more when we was traveling together. Me, him, and Breon was working together.
Okay.
And we traveled together, and we hung out and got to know each other, you know, pretty well. He's a great guy.
Right.
I even got to touch up on my Spanish around him because he speaks Spanish.
You speak Spanish though, don't you?
Quito.
Chris speaks enough language to communicate.
Exactly.
I have a guy who was cleaning my snakes this past because my regular guy went away, and believe it or not, we've been communicating with Google Translator. It's like amazing. You don't even need to speak the same language anymore.
That helps. But yes, this guy is like, I mean, you know,
he's only 28 too, right?
28 years old, man. 28.
Wow. Do you think he can go? Do you think he can be a top Olympia guy?
I think so. Yeah. Why wouldn't he? I mean, he's just. I'm telling you, he's not much far off of this, you know, all the time.
I think you're right about. I don't think he has myostatin. You know, the guys with no myostatin have like it's the neck, the calves. Michael Lockett.
It's not normal, dude. His neck and his calves is not normal. I've seen a lot of physiques all over the world and throughout my lifetime, and it's not many people like that. That he really didn't know how to really train. You see, his back is improved now.
Yeah,
his chest is improved. The amount of effort he's putting behind the workouts is definitely don't add up to that muscle.
I remember when Michael Lockett won Dave Lieberman's all natural show, and they tested him like 3 times. He was natural. But he had that freakish calves.
Yeah, it's the same shit.
Yeah, the same. It was exactly the same
shit. Dude, I'm telling you.
Blackman would love him. He's freakish. He's got no myostatin. No myostatin.
He's got something. I don't know what to call it, but I'd like to know what his.
Yeah.
I'd like to know. You know, because
I'd like to bottle it and put it and sell it. Whatever he's got in there.
Right.
He's got delts and arms like.
You see the striations in the shoulders. It's not. I don't know what. I don't know, man. It's just.
He's
crazy.
fresh too. He doesn't have like all shot up stuff.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And trust me, I'm looking all the time.
Yeah. No, I know you look at that stuff. What do you think, Aceto?
Yeah.
Is this guy for real?
Look at that shit, dude.
I know.
He's impressive. Period.
When I didn't know him, I just considered it. Oh, that's just not even right. You know, look at
that. It's like Ronnie Coleman stuff. You know, like he doesn't even know what he's doing. He just lifted weight.
Why? I don't know why he's trying to do these front squats with all that weight.
Because Ronnie did them, right?
I know. But he's just. You know,
he's strong too. Obviously, he's very strong. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know. The weight, when I take him to a workout, it's not this type of weight.
Look at how many plates he's got on that thing. What is that? 7 plates?
3, 4.
6.
4, 5, 6.
Still a lot of weight. 600, over 600. That's 585 right there.
He's just moving though, Dave. He's not even like.
Now I know he doesn't know what he's doing.
The muscle.
So you're working with him with training wise too, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're gonna turn him into a freak if you get him to.
Oh man, I told him I need to get your ass in America. That's what I want to do.
So when you look at him, what do you think he needs work on? Like what areas of his body?
A little bit more chest, a little bit more back, a little bit more shoulders. The
shoulders is pretty big.
I mean, they've gotten better. Like since I've seen him, when I saw him in Germany, he needed more of that. His back has gotten better, but his back's going to get better and better.
I think his back. You're right. His back. You know what? You know what it is? Because look at that. His back, back is something that takes years to build. Even Ronnie Coleman didn't have a great back when he first started, you know?
Right.
He built that, you know, he built that crazy back. Wow.
Did you see his back recently though? It's improved already.
Yeah, no, I've been following this guy for a while. I did a video on him about a year ago, and I've been watching him. And I didn't know you were working with him. That's why when you sent me the videos, I was like, "Oh, I know this. I know him."
Yeah.
And I didn't put 2 and 2 together that you were out in Amsterdam working with him. Sending Chris to Amsterdam is like, you know, it's the worst place you could possibly send like someone like Chris. It's very dangerous.
Well, you can see my focus is different, Dave.
That's why I thought you went out there to party or something. I'm like, no, you do that anymore. I had no idea. I know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you're
doing, man. I love that I can help this kid.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see him. You just got to try to dry him out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Before this Prague Pro-Am, and
shit,
he might be up there with the pros this next weekend. That might.
So yeah. What is he competing? What is he competing?
Competing in Prague Amateur at NPC.
Oh.
He left the other federation. And
right. So he's trying to get his pro card. Is what he's trying to do.
Through
the
NPC.
All right, I got you. Yeah. Hey, a couple of people had asked me, and I want to get both your opinion on this. Nick Walker obviously misses the Olympia. Tears a hamstring. It's probably not going to, it's not one of these things that's going to heal that quickly. He probably won't be ready for the Arnold. You think that the IFBB should give him a special invite to the Olympia next year?
Yeah, shit, why not? I mean, he was a great fan fave, and he's I mean, who knows how he would have placed? I hate to say it if everyone's on 100% because hardly anyone's going to ever be 100%.
Right.
And but you got to think he probably would have contended in there somewhere.
What do you think, Aceto?
Yeah, I agree with Chris. Is that anytime there's something like that, like somebody who's won an Arnold already, qualified to the Olympia, got an injury, he could not make it to the show because of very serious unforeseen consequences. So I think it's just makes sense that you would say, you know what, you can come back and you will honor that qualification from last year that you couldn't make for this year.
Yeah. Do you think, Dave and Chris? I mean, I know what I think, but I just feel like, the internet wanted him to improve his legs. Everyone's pointing out his legs. He was hell bent on changing his legs. It wasn't a strong point for him. It wasn't a lot of different bodybuilders that have a weak body part, but they're just not naturally. They're not naturally, able to improve that weak body part, and they go ham on it, and then end up hurting that body part. Whether it's arms with some people, whether it's legs with some people, I just feel like he was just trying his damnedest to bring that body part up, and I think he's probably maybe just overdid that damn thing.
Look what Dorian did to when he tore his bicep in '94, right before the Olympia. I'm sure Dorian was always criticized for having small arms. He had great forearms, but his arms were never really great.
Right.
And he probably did the same thing. Pushed it a little too hard on that body part.
That's what I think, anyway.
I think sometimes guys, and I hear this all the time, and I'd like to get both your opinions on this. Like, people tell me, how do I improve a weak body part? And I say, well, a body part is usually weak because it doesn't recover well. Either that or you're not training it properly. But assuming you're training it properly, it doesn't recover well. So I think you should train it less often, more higher intensity when you do train it. Exactly. Whereas some people will say train it every day or every 3 times a week. I mean, what's your feeling on that?
Well, I think it's right. I mean, because when I was trying to get I remember I was working with Robbie Robinson. When I was younger, a kid.
Yeah.
And he wanted me to use lighter weights and to concentrate more on that peak and all the stuff that he was doing. And I was like, I did it, but it hurt like hell, and I didn't want to do that. It hurt like a son of a man. I was like, and then I wanted to go heavy. I wanted to go 80s. I was able to do 80. I'm like, no, I need to go heavy. I need to do heavy weight and eat a lot of food. That type of mentality. But he was right and I was wrong, and it never helped me to go that heavy. It never helped me to be that strong. It didn't help me.
Well, because you were probably using other body parts to lift the weight, as opposed to the body part you were working on, right? Yeah.
Of course.
What do you think, Aceto? You were, really into training. You lifted heavy. You did a lot of volume. What was your take on that?
I think that it's counterintuitive, but if something's not responding, the answer is never more. Put a full stop exclamation mark at the end of that sentence. When something's not responding, the answer is never more. Mm-hmm. It's what you're doing, but doing it better. Or the only time I think volume, like more, can help on a weak body part is if you stagger it. Like, you can do more volume for a couple weeks and then come back to like your same volume, but the following week bring that back to even less volume than you ever have done for that body part.
Right.
But you can't smash through a sticking point with the body by doing more. It will never ever respond. And everyone, the biggest, Chris, you tell me, I'm too busy to, and it's just not my thing. There's no excitement for it. But I just don't go into the gym with people. But people talk to me about training. And I hear, people say, the only time I get into the training is it's close to the end. And always my forte is we're 3 weeks out from a big show, take 2 days off.
That's right. You got to
I
take your
can't
days off.
take any time off. I said, you know what? Your body is hanging by a thread.
Yep.
And you are going to fall apart.
Dehydrated and
and also
not conducive to doing it. You can't build any muscle at that time anyway, right?
No.
Yeah, or I'll ask people about their training and they'll say, I'm doing chest on Monday and touch up. If I hear the word touch up,
oh my God, do I hate that? I blame Rich Piana, the feeder sets. Rich Piana had all this stuff in his arms, and he was telling people, just do arms every day, and you'll get them bigger. And I'm like, don't listen to him. He's just trying to sensationalize the whole situation.
It's like I can't even think of the analogy, Chris. It's like going out on the greatest date ever on a Monday and say, we're going to go on a touch-up quick date on Wednesday. It's just like, just go again for the best date ever.
Right. No, it's true. It's true. It's really about the quality of your training, not the quantity. And
man, you guys in the comments are funny.
Yeah,
funny. I'll be rolling. You hear me laughing for no reason because I'm reading these comments.
But you know what? But the truth is, and I think Nick just was unlucky. He was a week out. I don't think he was trying to set any records in the gym. I think his body was brittle, like you said, probably. He just maybe squeezed a little too hard, maybe was a little dehydrated. And, popping a hamstring is not that hard, believe it or not. And if you tear one little fiber, it looks like someone stuck a knife into your leg. It's like mass murder, it looks like,
And when did it happen exactly? Because it couldn't have.
About a week out. I think about a week out it happened.
And how much are you putting into your leg training a week out? It can't be much.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't even train legs. Usually I stop all my guys training legs at a week out. So I don't know if maybe it was his last leg workout, I'm thinking, or maybe he was doing some touch-up, hamstring sets, I hate that, Chris, too, when people tell me that.
Oh my God.
I knew a guy who was coming to the gym in the summer, especially, and he would do arms every day because he would go right to the beach after that, and he wanted to get a good pump. But I don't know. You can't do crazy things. You got to have a schedule. You have to have a plan of attack and stick to it. The biggest mistake I think a lot of beginners make, and I know I made this when I first started, was you want big arms. You run around and you do every arm machine, every arm exercise that you possibly can read in a bodybuilding magazine. You would not leave one arm exercise that you do every single one of them because you want to get the peak here and you want the brachialis here from the hammers and you want to get this here and that.
Dave, you can never go wrong. My other little pearl of wisdom, at least I think it is, see if Chris agrees with me, is you can train as hard as you want, but you can never, ever go wrong if you leave the gym thinking, I could have gave a little bit more. And
100%. I agree.
How about this? How about this one, guys? Can you really improve a weak body part, though?
It's always going to be weak, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Can you really improve? I mean, you can help it. I mean, you can get improved a little bit, I guess, but you're not gonna go from a total weak arms to like big ass arms. Not really.
Well, use the weight of instinctive training principle.
Change your muscle insertions and everything.
Yeah, supposedly he didn't tear it on hamstring day. He didn't tear it on the leg days, from what these guys are telling me.
Yeah, but something happened at some point in time with his training, and it was weak, and it obviously popped, right?
Yeah. No, yeah. Look,
and the calf too, he said.
Sometimes you could be walking incorrectly and you have like a nagging little achiness somewhere and you don't think about it, and then you reach for something and you can tear a muscle. I mean, it's very easy when you're that big. But
Dave,
the right thing is, what do you think is wrong with his legs? I don't think his legs are weak.
Must have been getting weak along the way throughout the year.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it was a long-term thing that had just torn. But what do you think, Chris Cormier, was weak about his legs? What needed improvement? I think his legs were amazing, you know.
Yeah, but I just remember him making a post like, yeah, you guys are gonna see, you know, blah. I just think he was going hell bent. You know how he does his whole body, like the same thing that Dorian did when he tore up his hips and his you know, bicep and tricep all on the same arm.
Yeah.
He said that was the one thing he wish he would have did was chilled out sometime.
Yeah.
And
especially right before a show.
Not win.
I would have told Dorian take 2 days off, Chris. So if it was 3 weeks out,
Nick Xavier said that Nick Walker just stood up and it popped. So yeah, you must be right, Chris. It must have been something that was, you know, ready to go. Which is weird.
They said I aged a lot. Damn, dude, what the hell? I aged a lot.
Who said that?
Brother,
don't listen to these idiots. You look exactly the same as you did when I first met you. If anything, you haven't changed at all. And a matter of fact, I was going to ask you. You look very big at the Olympia. Are you bulking up again or something?
No, I'm trying to lose weight, man. I got on the scale at the weigh-ins, and I was like, oh shit.
You looked enormous at the show to me.
277, dude.
I thought you look. I thought you were one of the competitors when I saw you.
What was your weight, Chris?
277, dude. That's fucked up.
277.
Chris, Aceto, he was huge. You saw him. I put my arm around him. I was like, holy shit. Cormier's making a comeback, I said.
I gotta come down, dude. That's crazy.
What did you do? Like take like one shot of test a week and you blew up?
Nothing in years, Dave. You know that.
Nothing? You don't even do HRT? Yeah. Wow.
No, but I need to start. But remember I told you about that situation.
Yeah. I started taking HRT. I hadn't done anything for 7 years, and I started taking a little HRT. I'm doing like 80, 90 milligrams a week. And I put like 25 pounds on just from doing that. And I didn't even try, you know, but you know, our bodies are so sensitive, our receptors, and, you know, we got that muscle memory. So all I have to do is increase my eating a little bit and I grow, you know?
Right.
So, right. But yeah, you looked huge. Are you fat or are you muscular? You felt muscular.
Yeah, I've been training a long time, but it's just, I started training, but I haven't been doing any TRT, and just having a career as I did probably like 100 shows,
right?
Something like that out of amateur, you know, right. Teenage, amateur, and pro. And yeah, I'd like to get back to that.
Aceto said you were the biggest freak as a teenager when he saw you, when you came into the office there at Gold's Gym, Venice.
No, it was when he was 21, when Bob Paris came down and said, "Oh, this
is
Chris."
Yeah, I saw Paris in the parking lot. We walked in kind of at the same time.
Wow.
I was like, oh, okay, yeah. He's like,
yeah. And I was telling Bob Paris. I've told the story before, you know, but not everyone listens to the show. I was telling Bob Paris, oh yeah, I'm helping this kid. He's like 20, Chris Cormier. He's really good, balanced. And I described Chris's physique, and I said nothing's overpowering. There's no gaps, this and that. And Bob was leaving my office, and Chris walked on by, and he goes, "Oh, there goes Chris." And I said, "How do you know?" He said, "Exactly how you explained. The way you explained his physique."
Right.
Didn't even know. I mean, Chris had no name. Nobody knew who Chris Cormier was. And
I
Bob,
think you have no myostatin in your body, Cormier, too. You have a similar.
I had a good little gene profile. We did with
with Victor Conti.
Yeah,
right?
Victor. Yeah.
What did it come back?
Me and Flex had around the same type of gene.
Oh, you had no myostatin too? I didn't know that.
Me and Flex did, yeah.
Oh, there's your answer right there. That's why.
But I would like to see this guy Neckzilla get that test.
Oh my God, yeah, he definitely. Look, there's some people you don't even have to test. I don't need to test him to know that he has no myostatin in his body. Trust me. But you know what? You were very strong too in the gym, Chris. A lot of people don't realize that. You were very strong in the gym.
Yeah, I was.
You were inclined 500, right, for reps?
Every day. I mean, every time I did chest, I did 500 there. I go to the dumbbells and doing 200 there.
It's insane.
I was doing that all the time. It was never.
But people don't know. They didn't know how strong you were. You know, I saw you in the gym.
They thought because he had a balanced, pretty physique that like he trained with like
Light.
Squeezing and holding.
I used to love to train, man. I used to be so paranoid not to train. I would be so paranoid. I don't
That's
care.
Insane. The lift, the amount of weights you could lift was crazy back in the day. Speaking of someone who looked like they lifted a lot but lifted almost nothing, I saw that Paul Dillet was at the Olympia. What was he doing there?
Dude, he lives in Florida, and I guess he just drove up there. I didn't know he was.
Oh, he lives in Florida. Where does he live?
He said, I don't know if he said Sarasota or somewhere down there.
He probably lives around the corner from me, and I didn't even know it. Yeah,
right.
That's because Sarasota's an hour, 2 hours from me. That's not bad. What was the reception like?
It was cool. Like, I mean, we're just like we're doing a little a roundtable podcast, old school podcast, and then I saw him walking by, and I was like, that's Paul. And you see him, he still blinks and stuff like he used to, but he was just so much slender that I was just like, holy shit.
He does look a lot, very much the same. Though. He's
like a model.
He younger. So there was no one in the IFBB that was getting upset that he was around there.
I guess they gave him a ticket. I guess.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. I'm glad. I like Paul actually.
For sure, yeah, man.
I should call him up and get him on the show.
See what he's up to. You should.
Is he still doing his WBFF thing?
I'm sure he is.
But that's mostly in Canada.
He's into more like concerts and stuff. He told me he was doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he produced a few different concerts in the Bahamas and somewhere else, he said. But I think he gets more out of that, like that stage.
Probably makes a lot more money.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Paul's an interesting guy because he doesn't look like the kind of guy who's like an entrepreneur or anything like that, but he's very smart. He's very smart.
Yeah, guy. Dude. I remember before he was always like, he almost, I mean, I don't know, he would say stuff like he want to get to the point to where he don't need a bodybuilding contract to live. He's like
smart,
but he always had like these high ideas and high hopes about doing stuff, and man,
he pulled it off though. It's funny because he looked so like lazy. When he would be a bodybuilder, everyone would always say, "Oh, he didn't want to." Lee Priest would tell me he wouldn't do cardio. He would cheat on his diet. You guys would tell me how he lifted so light in the gym, but the guy looked like Frankenstein. I mean, he was unbelievable.
Yeah, even backstage, he would never be like doing all these pumping stuff. He would just have that towel around his neck, and then he would just do this right here a few times, and then he went on stage. That was his warm up.
Scott Connolly once said to me, because I was working for Connolly at Metrex, and he was like, "This guy Dillet, I got to sign him. He could be Mr. Olympia." I said, "Yeah, he's got the physique." I said, "Does he have the head for Mr. Olympia?" He's like, Scott was just amazed by how crazy Dillet looked, and
yeah, we didn't even talk to him when he first came to Venice.
No,
he walked by like we didn't even see him.
Why was that?
That was just how we were. We were crazy like that.
You
were scared
because he didn't pay his dues, right?
Yeah, exactly. You almost had to prove to us that you belong, in our crew or whatever. And he was the fourth in our crew of me and Rico and Flex.
Right.
When he first came in, we was like, "Oh yeah, but he ain't got no legs, right?" So he was like. We're like, he's got 2 shoulders. He ain't got no fucking legs.
Look at him next to Dorian. He's making Dorian look small.
I said, look how tall he is. He ain't got no fucking legs. And then he got in the mirror one day, that mirror in the corner, and he took his pants down, and we was like, holy fuck.
Chris, how about the hamstrings?
And the calves.
And he had the best
calves. Huge ass calves.
Yeah, he was a freak.
He was like, because, oh man, it was crazy.
He should have been Mr. Olympia. If he knew how to pose, forget about it. That's one man that didn't get posing hurt him.
He had this little yellow shirt that he would wear all the time. Did you see that shirt, Chris?
Yeah, he had a yellow, the white. He used to wear the white.
He was like
the white one, the white shirt. He had the yellow, the white, and the red.
But he would take his injections through the shirt.
Oh no, he would go right through it.
Bang, bang, bang. sorry, Paul, if you see this, man.
Yeah,
That shit was funny as hell.
he was.
He didn't lift his shirt up. Yeah,
There he is with the white T-shirt, Dave. You back it up.
Yeah.
This one he wore in gold's like 200 days out of the year.
Oh, he wore that white T-shirt.
The one where
I got risk here. Not many guys can wear a white T-shirt and pull it off, man. Especially a bodybuilder, because your waist wide, you know. But his waist was small too.
Shit, I remember we went to where were we? We were in Ecuador, and I went out there with him. You know, he was going through a lot of stuff at that time, and he had me come with him. And that's back when, you know, you can run up a damn bill crazy with the phone. I ran up a $1,500 bill in his room on the phone. Oh shit, he paid for it, but it was.
Oh, that's funny.
I was a phone freak at that time. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, with the cell phone. Yeah.
Yeah, but the hotel phone. Because that's when all the bills were.
Why were you making phone calls on the hotel? Oh, because there was no cell phones back then, right?
Cell phones.
Chicks had to stay in contact with the chicks.
Yeah, I had to stay in contact.
Yeah, if you made a phone call out on the hotel phone, they charge you like a fortune. But if someone called you, it didn't cost anything, you know. Yeah. But Chris didn't care. Chris was
$1,500 later. Damn.
Yeah, you know, I remember when I was a kid. You remember your parents would yell at you because they're like, "You're gonna call China by accident." You just like dial random numbers, and it would be like $100 phone bill would appear.
And that party line, you get that party line. You pick up on chicks.
No one knows what we're talking about, Chris, and they have zero clue. All right, let's talk about this about the Romania Muscle Fest that took place. Samson Dauda. My question to you guys is: was he better at the Olympia, or is he better here? Which look do you like better?
Cormier was there, so he'll know.
He was not there.
Yeah, I was not there.
Oh, you weren't there?
No, he's in Amsterdam. I keep telling you.
Well, I get all the European countries mixed up. I think
he was bigger.
There he is. Here's his look.
He was bigger, a little bit drier here, but he was a bit bigger at the Olympia.
He was rounder at the Olympia, yeah.
Right.
Do you like him more shredded, drier, or do you like him fuller? That's the question.
I like him fuller.
Yeah, fuller works. Dry.
I don't think he's gonna be that dry guy. I think he's gonna be more like this guy.
Keep talking because you're 1,000% right.
But why is that? Why has he got a physique that can't get that dry, hard look?
Because some people when you try to play what's not your strength, you end up showing your weaknesses.
Right. Like this is the dry he's been, the driest he's been basically.
Yeah.
He was dry. He was good at the Arnold, but he didn't have this going on at the Arnold, and then he didn't have this at the Olympia.
Right.
And just like me, like I wasn't going for. I knew I tried to get strided glutes and try to play that glute game. That was gonna not be. I couldn't even stay on just fish because I'd get so small.
Right.
That fish would kill my physique.
Interesting. So you did more red meat, chicken?
Yeah, and turkey.
Right.
Yeah, fish should be like, I'm sure you eating rice cakes and fall apart.
And this funny is when he hits that intercostal serratus in the oblique area, that's like so crazy hard for him. And I would just hit that. I wouldn't even hit down the middle like that. Down the middle is weak on him for some reason.
Yeah, it does. He's almost got like the Lunsford thing going on there. Yeah.
But it's like, but from the side, it's all put together nicely. And I would just they call me, I'm hitting it just like that every time. We're not
right.
I'm not ever hitting it down the middle.
So do you think it's maybe a factor that he needs more? I know it sounds insane because Milos told me he's 300 pounds at the Olympia. Does he need more muscle on that frame?
He don't need more body weight. He needs to improve body parts. Dave.
Okay, I got you. And what would you recommend looking at him? What do you think he needs to work the most?
The pecs and shoulders and back. Still, I mean, he has that. It's like his bones and his waist on down are thick, and all that's thick. You see all that that thick, and then it's like the tail of two physiques almost.
Yeah, his back still needs more mass on it, I think.
Yeah, but it's like it's always been his back area, but that's been improving obviously, and you can see it's been improving. It's just going to take a little bit more time, but hopefully he can get that upper body get that illusion of that mass to match that lower body more so.
Right.
And on the side there is different, but when it's dead on like this and that front lat spread and like this shot right here, you get a different look.
Yeah, you're right. That's better when he hits it. Yeah.
I would hit that right there and just call it a day.
Yeah. And guys do it all the time now. They don't even hit
call me out of that pose. I would just be hitting that pose just like that.
Yeah. Aceto, what do you think? You like this look or you like the Olympia look better?
I think Samson's always going to impress me more bigger, because that's his calling card and his strength at this moment in time.
Right.
So I think that, big is always better for him. And that's what, he won the Arnold on big. He was not the best condition guy. I think he was the third best condition out of the top three, and for sure. And yet, if you ask me after the finals, was it a good call? I'd say, yeah.
Right. I agree. I find that maybe, or this is my theory at least. I mean, Samson's put a lot of muscle on over the last 2 years. And is it possible, Cormier, that his body just hasn't caught up to it yet? It's not mature yet,
He hasn't caught up to it. He's just now getting better with his training. I've been watching him for a few years now. He's just now understanding his body more. So just now connecting with the different areas that it will take to make that happen. But if you see the way he looked just a couple of years ago and the way he looks now, you know it's just a matter of time when it can happen. Can it be dry enough? We don't know that yet because we haven't seen that part. Because Derek from the back, man, was like, holy shit!
Yeah,
I was like,
he's impressive from the back for sure. Shit. Very impressive. Who did you have winning the Olympia? I don't think I've asked you yet.
I mean, I was voting for Derek the whole year.
Right.
And I didn't know how the judges was going to judge the show because, I look at things that maybe people don't consider that. I just felt like Hottie up in this area was so hard, and it got harder the next time he came back out. Derek was a little bit behind there, but nobody shocked me like Derek's back double bicep area and he just looked like just fat free,
Yeah.
And no one else made me feel like that when they hit their poses.
That's what I said. My impression was the reason why Derek won was because of the crazy back, poses. And I think it was very hard for the judges. I think they were having trouble figuring out who they were going to put in there of that top three. And I think Derek sealed the deal with those crazy glutes, hamstrings, and that lower back there.
It hasn't been anyone like that fat free in a long time.
Yeah.
In a long time like that,
He suffered.
Can he get better? Yes, he can get better, and I know he's going to get better. But to get the title now, and then he got a chance to get better, then shit. Right. He's been getting better every year.
Right. I agree. Let's go back to Romania for now. So we got obviously Samson winning. I was very impressed, and I want your opinion on him. Another Milos athlete, Beirut Tabani. Talk to me about what you like about him, because I almost thought he gave Samson a run for his money there.
I just not. I mean, I'd like to see those quads a bit better myself. He was plenty hard. I would just like to see a little bit more size in the quads. He's dynamically hard right here with the glutes and the back, but in the front, I just thought, especially with Samson, with his thickness there, it was just going to be a little bit more much for him to beat Samson.
Yeah, he's a little what I call twitchy on stage. Some of these guys are a little.
What is that?
It makes I feel nervous when I'm watching him.
You know me with my posing, I'm just like,
I know.
Chill.
He's a little too. And someone else had pointed. I think it was King Kamali said it. Ramon Dino's a little twitchy too on stage. He's a little right.
Fidgety, yeah, fidgety like.
Yeah, fidgety, yeah.
Oh man.
How do you advise people to calm themselves down on stage? What do you what do you tell them mentally to think about if that's their personality and they tend to be a little high strung?
They got to get relaxed at it. That's
But what do you tell them? Is there any like mental tricks they can play with themselves to try to get them in a better place?
I understand that they're doing it at first. You know, I don't know who's in his ear about his posing, but maybe he don't really understand that that's what it looks like.
And I know, Chris. When you talk to Ramon, do you try to tell him to, like, you know, take a deep breath and slow down a little bit on stage?
Yeah, you know, I'm inserting myself a little bit more into the posing.
Yeah. No, you're very good with posing. I've seen you give critique.
Yeah,
Aceto, and you're very good.
Yeah, well, you know, you have competition these days, right, Chris? Like everybody wants to throw in their 19 cents.
Oh, dude, you know how many posing coaches is now? Okay, but there's so many posing coaches, so many coaches, period. But with all these posing coaches, and a lot of people still suck at posing, I don't know what the hell.
Well, yeah, Chris, here's why I like you, Chris, is because I can tell you this. If I send Dave Palumbo and I send Dave Jay Cutler and I send Ramon Dino to CHRIS CORMIER, Chris is going to have all three hit their front double, side chest, side tricep to the best of their ability, and not like the way CHRIS CORMIER used to hit it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, you got to work with what you have in posing. You got to, and in training, you know, you can't. The stupidest thing on the earth is to say, like, with training, you know, you have to do this exercise. Someone asked me recently, very high profile person, very high profile. You know, what do you like for shoulders? And I said, what do you feel the most? And he told me, and I said, do lots of those. Don't even worry about the other stuff. Really. You know,
I never felt skull
lots
crushing.
of those, because his answer was on this exercise, and he showed me the exercise, and two things, Chris, and you'll get it, and Dave. But not only, you know, was it a weirdish type of shoulder press, but you know what? My 10-year-old could be there with me and observe that. What a pump. You know what I mean? Like all three from that exercise, all three parts of the deltoid. So the point is you know, you need to customize your not everyone gets the same diet from me by any stretch of the imagination, and people shouldn't have the same training routines, and people should not have the same poses from person to person. Right. You know, you got to accentuate your, you know, what looks best on you. And that's why I always say, I agree with Dave. It's like someone says, you know, what about, you know, I need help with my blah, blah, blah pose. I say, see, Cormier. You know what everyone does? You know what the worst is? They ask me, then they don't go anyway, Chris.
Yeah, then they don't listen.
That's why I don't even give my 2 cents.
But you know, you're giving very good advice. Like I always found, like everyone would do skull crushes, you know, for triceps in the gym. And I never felt them in my triceps. I was able to do them, but I really didn't feel a good pump in my triceps. I'm like, why am I wasting all I felt was my shoulders hurting.
I'm just going to say your shoulders stabilizing.
Killing me. So I said, I'm not doing them anymore. And Vince Taylor said, you want to build arms? Just do all cable work, unilateral cable work. And I said, I thought he was crazy. And I said, you know what? I'm going to try it. And you know what? It was the best thing I ever did, because it isolated the muscles, and I actually felt it in my biceps and my triceps and all that type of stuff. So you got to find what works for your body. There's no doubt about that. That's 100% accurate.
Do you think the way your body's set up has a lot to do with what you should do and not do, like in the gym? Like I always thought Ronnie, the way his body was set up with that shorter torso with the longer glutes, I thought that was one of the worst exercises he can do. Is those with the T-bar? What's that? T-bar row?
Yeah, the T-bar, rows,
oh my god!
I agree. Yeah,
8 plates on that son of a bitch.
It was all core. It was all core he was using.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Chris, don't forget too. The other training advice I give too is, just because, you know, so and so was, you know, won the Olympia and that's his favorite back exercise, it might not even be the best one for him.
Yeah,
it might not even be the best one for him.
No, yeah,
like,
Ronnie could have done anything. Ronnie could have grown from anything. That's the truth of the matter.
You have to keep, you know what? you have to keep, when it comes to training, you have to keep a very, very open mind on what is happening with your body, workout to workout. And the thing is though, and Chris and Dave, you know this is, the difference is, if you've been around training 30 years, your mind is wide open. Right. And if you're just starting, it's closed. Hopefully and that's why when Robbie Robinson said, do it this way, closed-minded Chris Cormier said, no, I'm going to do it my way with the 80s. But 30 years later, it comes full circle. You tell some kid, keep an open mind.
But Chris, I understand that part. And I see in hindsight how I felt. And so I don't mind when I come across a person who don't get it yet, or they're not ready yet. I don't take it personal, because I'm like, I felt like that before myself. Right. I was that kid before, and I was, I just have a hard time having people 20-some years old trying to tell me, I've been in the gym way longer than you've even been alive, dude. Don't even. Yeah. There's one kid that took. What's the guy that took second at the USA? Shit. He's big online. I get all that. He has this whole thing going. I forgot his name, but he was like, "Oh man, you should try one of my workouts." I looked at him like, bro, I should try one of your workouts. I said, how old are you? He said 30. I'm like, oh shit. Like, I've been in the gym for 45 years around the right motherfuckers the whole time.
Well, what I try to tell people is, number one, there's no new workouts anymore yet. Okay, no one's discovering any workouts that haven't been done already, and no one has created any new steroids in the last 40 years. So there's no new cycles that we haven't already tried. So if I'm giving you like anabolic advice or training advice, you could probably bet your bottom dollar that it's probably the best advice for you, because you know what? We've already tried everything already and found out what works and doesn't work. Now, if there was something new on the market like gene therapy, okay, that we've never done on our bodies, and you're like, well, I did this gene therapy and I put on 30 pounds of muscle, I might be a little more open-minded to hear what you got to say, because there was no gene therapy when we were bodybuilding,
Right. And that's another thing, all the different ways you can train. We tried the 7 days a week. We tried the 4 days a week, tried the 3 days a week. Try the 6 days a week. Try all of that stuff before you start trying to squeeze a muscle or trying to talk like really smart about your damn training. It's not even adding up. You don't even have you don't have a good backdoor bicep yet, but all these big ass words and how to put it together. And I'm like, well, show me you got the muscle first before you start talking all that big fucking word shit.
But I see some crazy stuff that people do where they train like they'll do their body parts, and then I have one of these clients who's telling me, and then they'll do like calisthenics for like 2 hours a day too, on top of that, to try to burn more fat. I'm like, do you understand that you're overtraining the muscle just because you're doing a push-up? It's the same as a bench press. I said it's the same muscles you're using. You can't do it every day. You got to let your body relax and recover.
Chris, don't let anyone ever tell you bodybuilding is a science. It's not. It's experience and it's art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's experience and art. Because when people say, Chris doesn't even know the science, I say, I do this. I say, I don't know the science. I believe, even though I have a degree in it, which proves that I don't need it. I believe the earth is flat. That's how and I don't believe in gravity. How's that? Because I don't believe, if you get caught up in the science of getting your body from point A to point Z, you'll never get it to J. Okay.
Right. Well, why don't we just go to UCLA, and USC and get those professors to come and build?
Believe me, they would.
The most rugged physiques.
They would tell you. Yeah. They would tell you that you're not doing it right. And they would define what right is, and by definition, you would be wrong, because they were the ones to make the definition of what is the bar for success, and it's science. So I get nervous when people talk about science.
I know I built the Mr. Olympia in Breon Ansley, brick by brick, and I can show you the pictures before we started and how he is now, and I know exactly how to do the shit.
Yeah,
100%.
All right, I want to get back. I want to mention Horse MD, Marcellus DeAngelis. I think he was the biggest surprise, I have to say, of the show. Wouldn't you say? I mean, here's a guy who I don't think anyone expected. This guy placed third in this lineup. I don't think anyone would have had him in the top 3 at this show. Let me pull up some pictures here. Give me your opinion on what you like about him and what you don't. Now, he had some problems with as an amateur, right? And then they took his amateur status away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know the history, but I think
what was all the drama about? Do you remember, Chris? I forgot the story.
I don't know what the drama is, but whatever the drama is, it had no negative impact on the way he looks. I think it's one of the best pro debuts of anyone in the last 5 years.
I agree.
I think his front double was a knockout shot. I think his side shots were extremely good. I think his back lat spread was, fantastic. He looked polished. He looked round. He looked tall. He looked wide. I don't think there's anything that you can criticize other than, you can get into the nitpicking. But for somebody who's, walking on stage, hi, I'm here to compete in my first pro show, and I'm going up against 2 guys. Look at that shot.
That's a great shot, right?
Yep, I'm going up. I would have argued him to be in second place.
Look at that shot.
Well, there you go.
If you're gonna nitpick, you would be like, okay, look a little bottom heavy for my taste, but the shape is great, and when he hit some of his shots, I was a little surprised. I thought Nathan, Nathan's my guy, and I go to war with Nathan any day to get ready for the show or help him any kind of way. But I thought he was a little too full, like they try to fill him up too much or something like that.
You think that's what happened to him?
I think so. When he hit that last spread, even from the back, he had his hands way too low. Like it wasn't even in the lat insertions where his thumbs should be, in my opinion.
I'm gonna put up some video of him in a second, but let's take another look at the.
Yeah, like I said, I was just need to see more lines.
Look at that shot.
That right there. Cool.
That's
the lines in the quads and all that.
You love that stuff too. That's your thing.
Yeah.
He knows how to show it off too.
Dave, let's see if you can play Hollywood Squares with me, Dave. Ted Williams, Mickey Mantle, Seattle Slew, and Secretariat.
And what am I playing with here?
And Milos. So think it through. So it's Ted Williams, Mickey Mantle, Seattle Slew, Secretariat, and Milos.
I haven't heard that name at all.
I don't know. I can't. You got me. I think you stumped me. I think I'm too preoccupied with engineering the show. I can't put it.
The Triple Crown. Milos coached 1, 2, and 3.
The Triple Crown.
And Ted Williams and Mickey Mantle. Seattle
was he his coach too? Oh, he was his coach. Yes. Oh, let me pull up this comparison shot here. This is a good comparison shot.
That is, huh? He did. That's
and Milos was doing it from his hotel room. He was in New York to watch.
He wasn't even there.
Do you know how I know this? Because one of my really good friends in New York, John Manello, who I've been friends with for years, says to me, "Guess who I ran into at the UFC fight last night in New York?" I'm like, "Who?" He's like, "Milos." I'm like, "What was Milos doing in New York?" So I texted him. I said, "Milos, what were you doing in New York?" He goes, "I'm a huge UFC fan. I went to watch UFC." I said, "You did?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, my friend said he saw you. He goes, "Oh yeah." He came up to me. He was talking to me for for 15 minutes. I said, "Oh," I said, "So," he goes, I said, "What did you see in New York? Did you go sightseeing?" He goes, "No, I had to sit in the hotel room and watch the live stream and then coach my guys." So he didn't even go anywhere. He was in the hotel room the whole time after the UFC.
Yeah, I remember he said he was going to be doing that. He had all this stuff to do. He said he got 3 guys.
Yeah.
In Romania.
I forgot he worked with the Horse too.
I didn't know they're gonna go 1, 2, and 3. That's pretty awesome, really.
Yeah, look at that. Look at those.
But look at his thighs next to next to the winner. That's what I was saying. It's like,
does this seriously? I'm not trying to like put anyone down here, but does that shot almost look better than the Olympia lineup? Conditioning wise, I'm sorry. Conditioning wise, they look better.
I wouldn't go that far, but still. But I mean, you know, you can see that he was a lot drier, a little bit different shape here.
Yeah, it's a good shot. Chris? What was your Cormier? What was your reaction to the fact that guys were like? It seemed like almost everyone was like a little watery. Well, you think it was the lighting? You think it was the time they were competing?
So late at night.
Yeah, I think. All right, I'm glad you said it. I didn't say it.
Listen, Dave, I wanted to comment. Cormier, hold on, because I told Dave this week. Listen, you go to the what? You go to the opera, and people who go to the opera have their critics. People who go to the opera critics, like bodybuilding fans, and you have one opera singer on the stage with a white light and a black background, and everyone sits on the edge of the chair, and they listen to the opera, and they appreciate it. And bodybuilding fans do not need and do not want. I don't think you do. They don't want the crazy LED lights moving around, so you can have an epileptic seizure. And the point is that at the Olympia, besides being late at night, fans will appreciate being able to observe, digest, take in, and watch the prejudging with a simple, like bare bones, simple backdrop where you can see what's going on, as opposed to like making a production out of it. Much like the opera, you don't need to make a production out of it. And you know what? People will still pay for the expensive seats, just like they do at the opera. People will still be appreciative and love the production, which is like simple. Like the training, Chris. It's simple, sometimes not a lot better with training.
But yeah, of course. But
in putting together the prejudging at the Olympia, I think simple is better.
Yeah. I
don't know why you need like pomp and circumstance. I don't know what it. You tell me. Maybe I'm wrong. You tell me, Dave. You're.
No, you're right. You're right. John Hansen agreed. Also, Xavier agreed as well.
I'm still flustered. If I hear I heard it from Dave. Now I hear it from Cormier. I hear it from Milos. I hear
the
from
reason I'm asking. Yeah, the reason
I'm
asking.
Late at night and the lighting is distracting, and we do this. Wasn't so and so and so and so and so and so off? Well, it was between being late at night and the lighting and.
How come everyone at the Romania show was on? was great? Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, there's a lot of data to support what we're saying here, and there's a lot of top people. I'm asking Chris Cormier. I'm asking Phil Heath. I'm asking guys that compete and have competed. And they're saying the same thing. So I mean, I had to talk with Dan, and I haven't stopped praising the Olympia about how great it's been and how he reinvigorated the expo, and they sold out the tickets faster.
Don't worry, Dave. You don't have to do a fucking Trump caveat.
No, what I'm saying is I've told Dan that
trouble. You can.
I don't care. No, Dan doesn't give a shit anyway. Dan and I are good. My point is that there's a lot of great things that they've done, but there are some things that need to be fixed. And that's how we make the production better and better. We have an open-minded person like Dan running the show that you got to make the changes when a lot of people are saying the same thing. And, if they do that, I think it's going to be tremendous next year. So
well, here we are. We sit and we talk about, Samson's got to be tighter, or, we handicap and criticize the physiques, and those physiques are the best on the planet, but we still criticize them because we want to go from here to what's perfection look like, or what's better look like. And I think the production is open for criticism as well. And it's frustrating because it's 2 years in a row, Dave. People are saying like, can these Olympians come in shape? And I'm like,
Well, you know what it is?
Yeah, they can.
Because there's the people who are picking the times when they're doing this and who are putting the lights together are not guys that compete, who have competed at a very high level. So they need.
Well, those same people, Dave, are probably not going to listen to the people who do compete. That's why I beat it with like a dead horse. They're probably not going to listen.
You know how when you make a movie,
because you know what, Dave, they got smashed last year on criticism, and nothing changed. Not a damn thing changed. Nothing.
You're right.
But
so
check this out, though.
Why be like kid glove about it and say like, well,
No, my point is, if you're going to hold a movie, if you're going to make a movie and you're going to about the medieval times, you get what? You get an advisor who's an expert on the medieval times, and he comes in and says, no, this is not authentic. I know you like the way this looks. That's not the way it would be in the Middle Ages, and so we got to change this. And we got to change. So that you almost need like a CHRIS Cormier or someone to go up there, or John Bailey, someone to say, no. I know you like the way the lighting looks. This is not going to highlight these guys to the best of their ability.
Chris, how many Olympias did you do?
10.
At any Olympia, were you critical of like, the lighting?
No. And they always competed at 12 noon.
But when you wake up, you're at your driest. Everybody know that, right? When you wake up in the morning.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so throughout the day,
you get some water.
Chris. You know people. We have seen physiques. I have seen physiques that are lights out in the morning. People who I coach and don't coach. I've seen competitors like someone say, hey, you want to see so-and-so? I said, why not? Say, oh my God, unbeatable. 8 a.m., 6 p.m., what happened? and the guy, and someone goes like this, Chris, what happened? I said, I don't know, you're coaching him. They said, he didn't even drink anything all day. So I do this. Maybe he should have drank. And then the other guy does the flip side. It's like, you see him 8 in the morning, he looks unbeatable, 6 o'clock, not like he was 8 o'clock. And this different guy says, he drank like crazy. I said, well, maybe he shouldn't have drunk. I don't know.
It's biorhythms. Yeah. Your body changes.
You're nervous. You got nerves flowing all day. You got
cortisol, all that stuff.
Multiple categories now that we didn't deal with all these categories before either. I think all in all, it was a great production. And just it's getting better and better. We just can do
small tweaks.
Yeah. Continue to keep getting better and better.
All right. Let me just go. We were getting a little late here, so I just want to finish this up, but. Let's go back.
Prejudging would have been Dave. The prejudging hadn't even started. It's not that way. God.
All right, here we got our top 4 guys. Let's see. Here's our front double. Now Nathan looks really good in this shot, Chris. Right?
Right.
I think Horse beats him here. Oh, you're talking CHRIS CORMIER, mother from the different brother.
Yeah. I almost think that Samson looks like beatable here in the way these comparisons are, but I know in person he's very, very overwhelming.
I mean, it's not his strongest shot, but you can see he's got the thickest legs up there, the thickest bottom half out of everybody, and then his side shots are super strong.
Yeah, super strong. He's got super strong, most muscular too.
Yeah. So,
who's got the most potential in this? Chris, I know you seem pretty high up on this Horse MD.
I think you have to weigh this Horse simply because it's his first pro show, dude. He's standing next to the guy who just won the Arnold. I think he looks great standing next to the guy who just won the Arnold. I think in the front lat spread here, he beats the Iranian kid.
Yeah. Look how he's doing his lat spread. I think right here from his oblique to oblique is a little thick, and he's not doing it any he's not helping the situation by having his hands like that. His hands look a little messy. Yeah, they look a little messy. The guys in the middle, they're doing their hands, correctly, and then
his waist doesn't look thick there, though.
Yeah, well, no, when he pulls it back, it's outstanding.
Backing it up, but it's like whatever he's doing to make that look like that.
Right. Well,
then,
he better contact you, Chris, because you can help him with his posing there. There we go. That's the answer. You think Nathan was upset with his 5th place finish here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nathan,
4th place. Excuse me, 4th place.
He don't do these shows with a hell of it. He's trying to come in and get a win.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
I'm glad he's at least talking to Samson now because they wasn't the best on the best.
Oh, they weren't? Why were they feuding?
They just had a little, I think it was a battle of the UK type of thing.
Samson's competing next weekend.
Oh, really? What show?
They got the one I'm going to be at. I'm going to be there. At
Amsterdam.
Prague, right?
Prague.
Yeah.
No, you know what? If Milos is coaching these guys, they're doing every show, which is smart.
Wow. I would too. Shit.
Milos has done what, 400 shows in his day?
I would be right there.
Oh, you might as well. Why not? You're in shape already.
Look, yeah, I'll be right there. All it takes a couple more.
Samson won 10 grand. You know, that's not chump change.
That's like 15. He won Cormier's phone bill. That would have been Cormier's phone bill for Paraguay, wherever he went.
Bro,
that was good, Chris. I like that.
I'm camped out here, man. I got my PlayStation here, my damn.
Oh, you're all set.
Stick. I got all the
American food out there, Cormier. I know you're a foodie.
Good food here. This hotel is good food. I was surprised.
You should do a blog, dude. You should do some like Instagram just on food. Chris, a whole different Instagram.
I think it'd be like Anthony Bourdain with all the travel he does.
I just started my. I never was messing around with it. Well, when YouTube first came out back in 2009, I was doing a YouTube channel, but I stopped. But I'm just starting up another one, the Real Deal Cormier YouTube. Yeah, the Real Deal Cormier channel. But I'm gonna have food on there. I'm gonna be doing my food stuff, some training stuff. I'm gonna be doing some, some training tricks, some posing stuff, and some food stuff. Just them having fun with it, type of thing. But
I would love that. I'll watch it.
I'll come on for a cameo, Chris.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll go for sushi with you, and we can do a little sushi review.
Dude, I'll give you a sushi lesson.
Let me just ask you right before we wrap this up. Wesley Vissers wins the Classic. I think this guy's pretty underrated. What do you think?
You know what? When he goes against these type of guys, that's not like the top guys in the world, he can smash them. I like where and then that shape right there.
I love you.
You need your help posing.
I keep going.
And I like that he keeps it as closest to real. So you don't have these crazy lumps and irregular muscles that's not even humanly possible on his body, and then go to compete. I'd like to see that. That's why I want Classic to stay as classic as possible. Don't try to look like an open bodybuilder and all whatever the hell that looks like. But just keep that shit looking classy,
Yeah, I think he I know he tries to hit all the shots like Arnold does, but I think it's almost a mistake because I think if you work I think you can make him better. I think he hits his favorite classic pose. He like throws the pose away because he's like 3/4. You can't even see his whole body. When he
You're right, Dave, 100%.
So 100%. I don't know. Call Chris Cormier. Hey, Chris, I want to thank you for stopping by today. I know it's probably like 4 in the morning there.
It's 4:40 a.m. right now.
Oh my God, we're ruining his whole day. Talk about biorhythms, Chris. He's gonna be shot for the rest of the day.
I had to suck it up. I had to suck it up today. I was gonna be on the radio with you, Dave, and Chris. I couldn't miss it.
All right. Well, we love having you. I love catching up with you, and it was great. Man. It was actually great seeing you at the Olympia too.
Oh yeah, thanks, man. You too, bro. Yeah, appreciate that piece, man. You adding to my 200. You made me 280 that night.
Yeah, Chris, if you have muscle under those clothes, you better diet down. I bet you'll be ready to compete on stage.
Man, if I can get into the 50s, I'd be happy.
And he's all natural too right now, Chris. He doesn't even have any drugs.
100%.
We're the only two people not doing THT, whatever it is. THT is.
Chris, don't get carried away. All right, don't. We didn't talk. We're talking about anabolics here. We're not talking about marijuana.
THC.
What is it? HRT. Hormone replacement therapy. Chris,
No, he's on
Chris,
THC for
Cormier,
sure.
the letters. I'm not scientific enough with the numbers and the letters, bro.
That was a Freudian slip on your part, Chris Aceto.
External rotating my fucking THC.
There you go. Just flip those letters around a little bit and take a little CRT. You'll probably weigh 300 pounds, you know. Oh my God. Well, go get some sleep, Cormier. Chris Aceto, thanks as well.
Thanks for having me, Barrett.
Yeah. And thank you guys for joining us live as always. You know, as we say every week here at Heavy Muscle Radio, with Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
We'll see you next week, guys.